4 Charlie Delta, traffic's at your 2 o'clock and 2 miles still eastbound. Copy that now.
Welcome to our 7th edition of Volaire Views. You could call this Quarantine Considerations if you'd like. I'm Jack Penning. We're in week 8 of our quarantine in Oregon. I guess we've got about 5 weeks left, which means you may have another 5 of these videos to watch. These are always produced by Alex Lynch at Gen XI Productions.
Anywhere in the world.
Taste the flavor.
Fabulous.
This week, I'm going to make 5 fearless predictions. A worthwhile exercise to think not just about the next few months, but the next few years, and not based just on pure data and pure science, but on human behavior. The past is prologue, and even though this pandemic is something new and it's unlike anything any of us have ever seen before, its effects will be far-reaching, we can look back at past crises to figure out what the future is going to look like. With that in mind, my 5 fearless predictions. Let's start with prediction number 1. That is, things never change as much as the experts tell us they will. After 9/11, experts said we'd never see plane travel return. People would be too afraid. By Christmas of 2001, demand had returned to 80% of where it was before. After 2008, no one will get on a plane. They'll drive for vacation. No one will ever be able to afford air travel again. Well, 2008 caused a huge resurgence in low-cost carriers, not just in the US, but in Canada and all over the world. And network carriers had to learn how to compete with that. It spurred more travel in subsequent years than any other shock to the economy. We don't know what pandemic recovery is going to look like, but history tells us things will not change as much as experts right now say they will. All right, fearless prediction number 2. A subset of travelers will come back quickly. You probably see it in the grocery store today. My wife and I, we've got our masks on. We're staying away from everyone. But there is always 1 or 2 guys who are just there to buy a 12-pack. No mask, no regard for how far they are from other people. That is the subset of travelers that has no fear. To be clear, I don't condone that. I wear my mask. I stay away. I'm not afraid of getting sick, but I don't want them to infect my diabetic father. There are a lot of people like them, though, and they're the ones who are itching to get out of the house. As soon as there is something there to travel for, they will be back in the air, and your airports need to be ready for them. That brings us to fearless prediction number 3. Air service development will become air service retention, and cash will be king. Don't let anyone tell you the Small Community Air Service Development Grant Program, the SCASD program, is obsolete. We've seen that this week. Regional airline networks are going to look a lot different in the fall. Even if your airport retains all its carriers, there's a likelihood that not all hubs will be served. To get service back, a lot of airports are going to need to mitigate airline risk. Programs like SCASD are going to be the mechanism to develop cash funding to mitigate risk, bring airlines back to routes that they used to fly by ensuring they can profit as they recover. Fearless prediction number 4. More of us are going to be taking connecting flights. Many experts are telling us passengers will only fly on nonstops because they're worried about getting sick and they want to minimize exposure. But a lot of nonstops are gone and they're not going to be coming back. Network airlines are going to be more focused than ever on depositing demand into a hub, collecting that demand, and then putting it onto trunk routes, the big routes. It's efficient, it's cost effective. Secondary service, things like secondary US cities to Europe, Portland to Raleigh to London, secondary transcons like Portland, Baltimore, those flights aren't coming back and they're going to require connections. Those passengers will be connecting. So if you have a smaller airport that's near a major city like that, you're going to get an advantage because your passengers, even if they drive to that big airport, are still going to have to connect on the exact same flight they take out of your smaller airport. Fearless prediction number 5. This one I am sure of. It's in 2 parts. Part number 1, you guys love dogs. Our episode featuring Willis the Weather Dog had 5 times as many engagements on our social media as any other video we have done to date. My 5th fearless prediction is that Willis is going to continue to sit on top of the stairs in my house. He's going to surveil the neighborhood from his perch, and that if you walk by our house, he's going to yell at you. So that last one, that's the only sure thing out of my 5 fearless predictions. Happy to hear what you think about this. Email me at jack.penning@volaireaviation.com. In the meantime, stay safe.